Okay, you're on.
Okay, so welcome everybody. I am Shanessy Owens, Advanced Director, so super excited to be here with you guys tonight. Thanks for tuning in. This week we're going to talk about prospecting for business. So how to find business in the marketplace and different places. And so we're going to give you some ideas, some ways to do that. And then also we're going to kind of talk about your successes, what you've accomplished this last week. We had 2 booking blitzes. And then y'all, if you weren't on this call last week, you're supposed to watch the call. So if you guys are on here, then you did that. And then start tracking your contacts and your parties. So
Hold on just one second. Who's got some background noise? If you guys have background noise, click the mute button at the bottom of your screen. And then when it's time for you to participate and come on in, click the unmute button.
It could be me. Hold on, let me get some headphones on then. It could be me.
Oh, it's you. Okay.
I think they're in the other room, but it's a small camper.
Okay.
Also camper. So let me pull it. Here it is.
Got it. No, that's all right.
They were all outside until literally this started.
And you can't mute your side, Shanessy?
I know. Okay, let me plug in real quick.
Okay.
I just got on, but I was just curious who all is on tonight.
Do you want to do introductions while Shaunessy's getting her ears plugged in?
Sure.
Carol, go ahead.
I am Carol, and I'm a director, and I've been a director for a year and a half now.
Awesome.
And hoping to move to advanced director this year.
Fabulous. Welcome. Kate?
I'm Kate. I'm in Utah. I'm on Shelly's team. I've been a consultant for, it's going to be 6 years, Shelly.
Yay.
Yeah. Time to kick my button. It's past time to kick my button here, so that's why I'm here.
You're in the right place. Excellent. Excellent. Suzanne?
I'm not sure if you can you hear me?
Yes, we sure can.
Okay, sorry, my computer crashed today, so I'm doing this off of a tablet.
Okay.
So I am on Cindy's team.
Cindy great.
Team, and I just signed up the last week of February.
Ooh, congratulations and welcome.
Thank you.
All right, very good. And I'm sorry, I lost my screen here for just a second. Megan, can you hear us? Can you unmute and introduce?
I just have you. I just muted because I'm in the playroom today.
So. Okay.
I am on Shaunessy's team. I've been a consultant since August, and right now I have 2 leads for joining my team. I currently don't have anyone on my team, but it's a goal to be director by my 1-year mark. And me and Shanessy are working on that very diligently.
Marvelous. Marvelous. Did I get it? Thank you very much, Megan. I'm Shelley Valet. I'm an advanced director, 17 and a half years, Northern California, and I'm delighted to be part of the director team that's offering Director Bound to you today. Tonight is call number 1, and it is April 3rd. Shanessy, you're on, my dear.
Okay, so last week you guys were all challenged to start tracking your businesses with your tracker and doing that in accordance with your director. So how many of you, by show of hands, started tracking your business last week? Awesome. And then how many of you guys participated in the booking blitz? How many booked parties? Yay!
No. Awesome.
Okay, so I want to open it up just real quick to see how many parties that you guys booked on your calendar. So what your calendar was before the blitzes for April, and then after the blitzes, what they were. So one at a time, you guys can pop in and just tell us real briefly.
Carol, you want to go first?
I'm sorry, I wasn't paying attention. Somebody just walked in the room.
That's okay. Kate or Megan or Suzanne go, and while Carol listens to the question again.
Before the booking blitz, I had 5 parties, and now I'm up to 8.
Awesome.
I'm hoping to get 8 more just because Shanessy knows me, and I am all about goals and pushing myself to the limit. So I'm hoping for 8 more. It's only April 3rd, so I have a whole month, and I'm not worried about making that goal.
Fabulous.
Absolutely.
Super. Kate?
Oh, I don't have any book, but I've got somebody who wants to order a rock crock, somebody who contacted me about their rock crock lid broke. So I'm talking to her about doing a virtual.
Good.
She's thinking about it. I know how long she thinks, but she
Okay.
Those 2 items are a party right there.
yeah. Try to.
Sure are. Alrighty. We'll talk more about that and help you get your schedule where it needs to be, Miss Kate, on our coaching calls this week.
Yep.
Carol, it was how many bookings did you have before the blitzes and how many do you have now for the month of April?
0 and 0.
All right. And
But we can explain. It's tax
yeah,
season.
please
I
do.
am not concentrating on this at all, but I will pick it up again after April 15th.
Carol is in the lead program and brought on 2 new people last month in addition to selling over $1,300. So considering that she runs a CPA business and you guys are in the throes of it, my hat's off to you. That's tremendous.
Yeah.
Great job. How about you, Suzanne?
Well, since I only found out about this about 5 hours ago, none. I have 2 bookings that are 2 parties that are closing this week, but I haven't done any new bookings in the last 5 hours. So
Okay, the last 5 hours. No problem.
I did listen to the other call though.
Great. Excellent. That's what you need to do. Shaughnessy, how about yours?
I had 2 parties and now I have 5, but booking more this week. Been a little crazy around here.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah. It's everybody, give you guys so much credit. I was at 1 and I'm up to 6, so I'm very happy. All right. Go for it, Shaughnessy.
Okay, so 15 contacts a week, just to recap, that's what your goal is to do 15 contacts a week. So you want to reach out to, and remember, it's not a contact until you get a response. So you want to make sure that if you're green dotting when they respond back in a message, or if you're texting, emailing, whatever it is, once you get a response back, that's where you track it. That's where it counts as a contact. I think we talked a little bit on the last call. There's different ways to track your contacts. You can track them with a spiral notebook, and that's just, I have like a cheap one that I used, and I just put like the date on the top of the page and wrote them. But Shelly has since changed me, and I am totally going into Evernote and loving it.
Oh, yeah, that's great.
Love it, because I can just put a note with the person and then tag me to remind me electronically when to contact them the next day. And then everything in the conversation, I kind of write out, like message about a rock crock, wants to book a party, not sure when, needs to check calendar, and then I tag it to remind me. And so I know exactly what we talked about on the last contact. So
huge.
Those contacts are huge, guys, because if you're not making your contacts, then you're probably not booking parties, which means you're probably not going to get to your goal of recruiting, which means you won't get your goal of director. So contacts. And that even goes when you're a director. Us directors on the call, we don't stop making contacts. This is a consistent thing that we have to do to keep our businesses going.
Mm-hmm.
So if you, out of like 15 people, on average, 5 book a party. So Megan, I'm going to pick on you real quick. So how many people did you contact? And then last week, and then how many parties came from those contacts?
I contacted 25, and I got 3.
There you go. So she did more than 15 contacts. She did 25, and she booked 3 parties. So that shows you it's all in the numbers. I think that's about a 4th-ish of all contacts. Carol's the math whiz on this call, but something similar to that. So you want to make sure that you're continuing to make your contacts. And with your contacts, prospecting, where are you going to find this business, right? So we all have access to technology through Facebook. I think everybody on here is in Facebook. So that's one way. Emails, your consultant connection emails, all those contacts in your website. I'll show you. I just did this recently. I printed off all of my past hosts. And what I've been doing, this is everybody in my that has hosted a party for me in the past 7 years. And so in my contacts. So what I've been doing is I've been going down the list and then marking off the people once I contact them. So, and some of them, like I actually already have contacted before I did this list. So once I get to their name, I make a little note, like talked to them last week or whatever. But so I printed off my contact list and I'm literally going through each name to contact them again. So that's one thing. And to do that, you just go through consultant connection where your contacts, and then there's an option to print the list. So a good place to start from past hosts, past guests, and get all your contacts. And then just check them off one by one. Another thing to do is when you're out and about, and I've had some really good success with this lately. Logo wear, you don't have to spend a lot of money, but if you have anything with logo wear, use it. If you have a t-shirt, Megan has logo wear.
Okay, I just want to add this in there. On Amazon, I got they're little plastic, like postcard holders, and I took a clip and I put the catalogs in it, and I can clip it onto like the stroller or anything I have with me. I clip on, so it's outside my purse, so everyone can see the catalog.
Awesome. And how much was that? Was that
it was like $3 for 12 of them.
There you go.
So I literally put the catalogs in it, and I got the clips from the dollar store, and I clip them onto everything I have, whether I'm going to school or wherever. I have it clipped onto a bag or something.
So some kind of like she has her catalogs. I have this. These are this was a consultant incentive I earned one time. It's a catalog tote. I pulled it out. It's not my favorite purse because it's just a black hole, but I pulled it out and put my catalog in there, and I've been taking this out and about with me because I need to meet some new people in the area other than my online friends. So I was at the post office just last week mailing. I have to mail my prizes because I'm in direct ship. So I was mailing my prizes for my parties, and a lady was standing next to me and she saw my catalog and she's like, "Oh my gosh, Pampered Chef. I love Pampered Chef." And I, of course, started talking to her. "Oh, you do? When's the last time you'd seen a catalog?" It had been a long time. So what did I do? This is going to be your challenge for this week. I pulled out, I hide them behind here so they're not in the black hole, a mini catalog with the little drawing slips that come in your kit. So I told her, these are all the new products, and then gave her the slip. I said, "Here, I'll give you this, and then if you could just fill out this information, I would love to contact you about this." And just as we were talking in line, I found out she was a hospice nurse that worked in Napa. And she said she's in the middle of moving, so she didn't put her address. She says, "I'm in the middle of moving to Napa so I can be closer to my work. But I would like to purchase some things for my new kitchen. And then once I get settled, I would love to do a party."
Wow,
so
super.
I put that contact on my contact list in Evernote and tagged it to contact her now. "Hey, it was really nice meeting you. While she remembers me, I'd love to help you out. And then once you get settled, let's chat again." So one of the goals this week is to get you to do 10 mini catalogs to carry with you ever and pass them out. So this counts as a contact because you are giving them the slip, they're filling it out and taking it. So because I'm at the post office a lot, and I actually go between two post office, I go to the one where we get our mail, and then I go to the one on base here because it's just across the street. They're seeing me in there mailing this stuff all the time. So the mail lady's like, oh, cookbook. She's asked me what it was. And I said, yeah, it's a cookbook. She said, do you make your own cookbooks? I was like, oh no, they're gifts for my Pampered Chef business. Oh, Pampered Chef, I have a pizza stone and I love it. Do you have a catalog? Boom, handed that right to her. So it's a really easy way to have that for you, because I can't tell you, I'm actually embarrassed to tell you, there have been many times where people find out I do Pampered Chef and I don't have a mini catalog on me or anything to gift them. And they're like, oh, do you have a book on you? No, I don't. What a missed opportunity that I could hand them a catalog and get their information. So always keep them on you. I believe these mini catalogs are like $3.75 for a pack of 25. So they're really cheap. I actually hand these out. I don't hand out full-size catalogs unless you're hosting with me, or if it's a VIP host that specifically says, hey, I'd like you to mail me a full-size catalog. I always give mini catalogs. And these, if you do mail these out as well, these are only one postage stamp, just so you know that, like a regular first-class postage stamp. So Megan has done these mini catalogs. Anybody else taking mini catalogs out? Shelley?
Yeah, that's a really important challenge that you mentioned. You know, set up 10 of them you staple that prize drawing slip on there, and you pull it out of this is a Judy Joel tip. She said, pull it out of your bag and say, you know, it's part of my job. It's part of my job to give away 10 of these every single week. Would you like this one? I'd love this one to be yours, but you don't hand it to them. Like, I'd love for this one to be yours. Would you like it? And you wait for them to say yes, and you say super, and you hand them a pen and the slip. You tear it off and hand them a pen and the slip. Said, no problem, just fill that out. And this way I've got your info and my info's on the little brochure. Yep. So we'll trade. And maybe out of 10, you might get 7 or 8 actual people who give you their contact information. And you put that into your contacts in your consultant's corner, and whatever your method is for keeping track, follow up with them within 24 hours. And then again, 2 days, and then 2 weeks, and 2 months. It's the 2-2-2 system, right? And
that's 7 contacts that you would not have otherwise made of people, random people at the post office or whatever, wherever you're at, the park. And then if you, with logo wear, like I was at Six Flags today, so I was wearing my Pampered Chef hat. So that I was walking around and people say, oh, Pampered Chef, I love Pampered Chef. Shelley's wearing her shirt. And there's not, I mean, if you look on Consultants Corner, in the PC marketing stuff, they have t-shirts, they have hats, water bottles. And guys, you don't have to, I'm going to be cheap here and just show you guys, but I have a water bottle that I bought at Walmart. It's one of the stainless ones for like $7. And I had somebody make one of those vinyl, I have a friend with a Cricut, and she made a little vinyl with the PC spoon in the circle. I popped that baby on there because I wasn't going to pay $25 for a water bottle. So $7, and I think I gave her like $3 for the vinyl, $10. I have a water bottle that I carry around with me everywhere. So if you don't have any logo wear or something, even like Megan said, she had got that little doodad off Amazon for $3. So you want to be your own advertisement, because nobody's advertising for you. You have to be your own walking billboard, essentially. Any questions on that? No? Okay. So, what is one thing that you guys learned? It's important, first of all, it's important that we keep learning. So the whole premise of this program is to learn the tools that you guys need to make director from us as directors. So, and we're constantly going to be learning, because I am learning every day, 7 years in this business, and I'm still learning every single day. Shelley's almost 18 years in this business. I'm sure she's still learning new things every day. So this is something that doesn't stop. So what is something that you have learned in this past week from the program thus far? Hey, what's one thing that you've learned this last week?
you call?
I need
Kate,
to make more contacts.
oh,
More
Barbara.
contacts? Okay. Hey, Barbara.
Hi, Barbara.
Hi.
So you learned that you need to make more contacts. So what is a way that you can see yourself making those?
I guess by wearing Pampered Chef things when I go to the store, or taking my, the little small ones, and talking to people about them. Yeah, I can't think of the little
mini catalogs.
Right, the mini catalogs. Taking those with me and talking to people about them. I just need to talk more. I think I'm not out there talking about it like I was when I first got in.
Awesome. Kate, what about you? What is something you've learned so far?
For one thing, I've gone over a lot of this stuff. It's like there's always something that just sticks. And I think looking back at my notes, the one thing that really was sticking was to see how Shelley broke it down for, what am I trying? I'm so tired. Wait, I just had it. Now I lost it. What we talked about last week with the 8 parties, book 8 parties, 6 are held, how many people you're in front of, how many people from there you're going to get bookings or recruits from, and just to I have the numbers in front of me now, and it just seems to just make more sense now.
When they're in front of you, it makes a big difference because numbers don't lie. So when you see them on your tracker, then it's like, oh, well, now I can see why I don't have the shows I have on my calendar or where I need to be. Or maybe you're seeing how many people have been going. Oh, well, that's why nobody has, been interested in the business yet. There's only 4 people, so at the party. Good. Megan, what about you?
As far as the program, I would say that it's just trying to figure out the right words to use to get the person to do the hook, line, sinker, to get them to sign up, where I have people interested, but it's just trying to make sure to show them that it's fun. It's a great business to be a part of. And that's the one thing, as you know, I've always struggled with. I can book a party any day, but it's signing up that recruit is where I fall short. So it's just trying to find the right wording to give the person.
If I could interject,
Please,
Megan,
yes.
I remember being in that same situation many years ago when I was just, I could just taste directorship. I was so close. And it just seemed like nothing I did would, get people off the fence. I talked to so many and so many and so many, and they had us track it. We did a chart of 100, kind of, it looked like that, right? 100 boxes on the page, and they said basically every 10, you'll sign one for every 10 people you talk to about it. That was the idea, and it was like 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, and I hadn't signed anybody. I was like, and in that last 50 to 60, I signed 6 people. And
Wow.
it just was, you've got to go through all those no's, because it kind of gets you to the point where you're not so invested in every single person you talk to. Same with bookings. If you track your bookings just like that. And what did Shanessy say? Talk to 15 people, you'll book 5. You find out what your exact number is, and then you're like, okay, my job is just to talk to them, just to have the conversations. And so you're like, okay, did that one, move on to the next one, and all of a sudden you hit your stride and you start doing it. So keep going.
And if you're some wording to use, like maybe if you're getting really close and you're, oh yeah, that sounds interesting, but I'm not sure. Hey, why don't you take the 30-day challenge and see if it's a good fit for you? We set up especially if they're virtual, set up a virtual party. I will run it for you. You'll get the host rewards, and so you'll get all the free product and the commission and all the bookings. And then you're going to earn you'll earn money. And plus you'll earn Pampered Chef rewards where you can get Pampered Chef dollars at 20% off product. So I always say 30-day challenge. Try it for 30 days. What do you have to lose? One of my things is I say, I'm not asking you to marry Pampered Chef. I'm only asking you to take it on a date and see if it works for you. So
see, I've never heard of this 30-day challenge because, again, I'm new. Do they actually sign up and you give them 30 days, or do you just reimburse them?
So basically the 30 days, in their mind, 30 days is like, oh, well, I can try anything for a month. And really, when we're working with our new consultants, we're working with them very closely in the first 30 days and throughout their first 90 days because we want them to qualify with 1250 in their first 30 days. So that's the goal. I know I signed somebody in January. She was set on her number, whatever, I forget what her date was, but I think she signed like literally the last moment on January 31st. So her date was like March 1st. And she was set that she knew she had to get $1,250 in sales by that date so that she could get 50% off her kit because that was the special that month. And she wanted that 50% off. So she looked at it as she was only going to do it for 30 days. And here we're a couple months in and she's done over $3,000 in sales.
So they're signing up and you're just helping them during that time, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
So your director, because part of the thing with directing is we train our new consultants. That's part of our job is to work closely and train our new consultants. So as you become a director, and you'll work with your personal director on this, once that you are trained and are comfortable doing training, you will start training your own new consultants. But as directors, that's what we do is we work really closely. I have a bunch of people on my team that are recruiting. They're basically just signing them and then we are calling them together and I'm training them to get them qualified in their first 30 days and help them get off to a successful start.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Shaughnessy, can I ask a question on that?
Yes, ma'am.
Just kind of on how the whole time, that works. So when you offer them this 30-day challenge, you sign them up and then do their kickoff party. And who's the consultant on the kickoff party, you or them?
So if it's a virtual show, for sure it's them because I just set up the party and post my party. They obviously have to do the Facebook event. They set up the Facebook event. I set it up on my post my party, but in the template, I have them, we go through and write their story together and then have them send me a picture and I put that in the template. So the template is ran as they are the consultant, but they're the host on that party as well. Does that make sense?
Yeah. And then what if do you ever do their kickoff party as a live cooking show?
So that's where it gets kind of tricky. I've done both ways. And it's really up to you. I know some of the top people, Sharon Zellen, she does it one way, but I was trained another way. Stacy Itzel changed it when I was becoming a director for our organization because my husband was deployed. So I could not afford to go do all of my new consultants training and hire a babysitter to watch my kids when I wasn't making any of the money. So in those cases, we called it not a grand opening, a kickoff show to where I would go. I was the consultant. I made the commission. They got all the bookings. They got all the bookings went on their calendar, and then they got all the host rewards.
And the recruits.
And the recruits. So anybody that's interested in the business, and I tell them during the full service checkout, hey, I'm so excited. How did you like Shelly's party? She's actually going to be a consultant, and I'm super excited to help her get started in her business. Would you like to help her get started and host one of her first parties? And then usually, and it's so much easier, honestly, for me to ask somebody on her behalf than it is on my behalf. And a lot of people, yeah, I'd love to, help her get started. So I get the bookings, I put them on the calendar, and then they can go through their calendar later if, it doesn't work out. But I do that, and then I say, hey, yeah, how did you like this? Is this something that you've ever thought about doing? Oh, yeah, I thought about, well, I don't know if you know this, but if you decide you want to try this, I can train you, and you can start just with Shelly. And it's always more fun to start with a friend. That's how I started my business 7 years ago. What do you say? Do you want to get started?
And so also then, so if it's the live party where you're going to act as the consultant and they'll really be the host.
Yes.
Have they still already signed up?
They have not signed up yet, because I cannot go to a party and make the commission under somebody. We have to use their consultant number. So they have to have not have signed before. If they have signed, then it's a grand opening party. So they're making the commission, they're the consultant. Now that my husband is home more, if I'm free that night, sometimes I will go and support them, but I don't make it a habit because I have family commitments and I have a calendar too. So, but I train them, and that's our job, is to train them so that they feel comfortable, and getting them to shadow a show with you so that they feel comfortable doing it themselves.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I was just, because I didn't think that we could list someone else as the host on our party if we were the consultant, if they had already signed up.
No, yeah. So that a grand opening show is, I know Shelly's going to sign up, but she hasn't signed up yet. So we're doing a kickoff party.
And so she can use the kit credit.
Correct. So she can use the kit credit. And sometimes I don't even know that Shelly's going to sign when I go to the party. Maybe she's interested, but she hasn't said, yes, I want to sign. So even as I'm doing this show, I'm saying, hey guys, I'm so excited, to do this fajitas and margaritas with you tonight. I know Shelly has been thinking about doing this, and I know you guys know she would be awesome at this. So as we're doing the show, and afterwards, when I'm going to talk about hosting a party, I'll ask you to see if you would be one of Shelly's first parties on her with her new business to support her.
So can I share about last night?
Please.
So Tracy contacted me a couple weeks ago and wanted to get signed up, and we set up her kickoff date for last night, April 2nd. And she basically has the choice, Carol, that if she wants to use the kit credit, then I want her to hold off on ordering her kit until we do the party, and then she can apply $50 to her kit. But in this case, she was pretty much ready to go. So she ordered her kit on March 31st. So that makes that her party. And it was initially set up on my system, and then I trained her and taught her how to set it up on hers, and we kind of transferred it over to her. I've done it both ways, where I am collecting the commission and she's getting all the host rewards and the training and the recruits. And I've done it where I go and do the party and it's hers. Last night it was hers. It's $750 with 4 solid bookings and 3 recruit leads. And she is ecstatic. Okay. And then the kind of halfway part that I've done it before is where she sets it up and she gets the orders. I've done it where I come and I do the party. I'm the consultant. I get the orders that night, but all the outside orders, she takes those.
Yes,
so
I forgot to say that.
So there's another way of doing it.
Yep. So if they decide at the party that they want to join, then okay, great. We'll close it right now. We'll get you the host kit credit. And then all those people that you told me that wanted to order that couldn't make it tonight, we're going to put those in, and those are going to be your first catalog show orders.
Okay. Sounds good.
Okay. So I think the take-home message is you can absolutely be flexible with it.
Mm-hmm. It's really what works best for you and the new prospective new consultant.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Does everybody understand that? Virtual, though, to me is a no-brainer because I'm not having to pay a babysitter and leave my house or do anything. It can just run for them, and then that's starting towards their $12.50 in sales as well. Mm-hmm. So if I know they want to join, I usually do that unless they're adamant that they really want the host kit credit, and then they earn it from their show and then they sign. But that rarely happens on a virtual for me.
Okay.
So another thing we touched base just briefly last week about vision, positive affirmations and vision boards and believing in yourself. We talked about belief. And so I wanted to challenge you. We're going to give you a new homework assignment to go along with our 10 mini catalog assignment, is to create a vision board. So your vision board is something that you want to have hung up in your home, in your office, and on your fridge, wherever you're going to see it most. This is my vision board. You can do it digitally. If you do digital, do digital. I literally was sitting with some extra catalogs, and my kids helped me cut this out. But you want it to reflect all different aspects of your life. So not with your Pampered Chef business and with your personal goals too. So for mine, one of them is to be bold. So sometimes I have to learn to be a little more bold and not be shy about talking about the business and what I do. And then I put here reserved for executive director team. So I am working on building an executive team right now. So, and team is very important to me because that's what gets you to that level. To be you, just to be myself. Pampered Chef, of course. Lead. So that's something that's a goal of mine, is to be a better leader. And then, I put Pampered Chef, the big picture. So this is the big picture of Pampered Chef. In the middle, I have my spiritual goals. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me, Philippians 3:13. That's one of my favorite verses. Financial freedom is down here. We are currently working to become debt-free. So that's a goal. Enriching lives, because sharing the business is how we help enrich lives together. In fact, my husband, we were having this discussion tonight. He's just finished his degree in strategic leadership, and we were talking, and he said, why do you want to be executive? Like, why is it so important to you? And I said, well, I want to help others achieve their goals and enrich their lives. And he's like, well, then it doesn't matter how fast it happens, because as long as you're doing that, it's going to happen. So enriching lives is very important. I have school right here, classical school. I would love to get an income that pays for private classical school for my children. And then to have more time, because I have 4 children, so I always need more time. And fun time. Sorry, fun time with my kids. And then I think that's it. So with your vision board, you want it to have what your goal is for your business, maybe a financial goal, a family goal, maybe a health goal to get in shape. I probably should have put that on here now that I look at that, because I missed that one, but that is still a goal. And a work goal. Any questions on that?
That's awesome.
So it's something that you want to have in front of you so you can remember why you're doing this. Because I'm going to be honest with you, you are going to get frustrated. You're going to get tired. Whenever you're working hard towards a goal, you're going to have setbacks, and you're going to have a lot of no's. We all, know that we get no's. So you want to constantly look at this and say, this is why I'm doing this. I honestly look at this sometimes and I'm like, why do I want executive director? What is it really going to do? I'm going to be able to pay for private school for my kids, which is something that we just can't afford right now. So that's kind of like, okay, when I get to that level, I'm going to have the income to do those things for my family. So challenging you guys all this week to make your vision board and share it on the team page. So you can either do the digital one, or if you do a hardback one like I did, you can post a picture on the thing and tag your director in the post. That way your director can see that you have completed that. Also, get your 10 mini catalogs. If you don't have them, go on a supply order now and order them. You all should have the booking slips already in your kit. And then we're also going to share a booking script for you on the files of the director group. there's a standard booking script that Pampered Chef has given us, and it's just how to talk to your contacts as you're making them. So the standard booking script is, hey, hi, Shelly. This is Shanessy with Pampered Chef, and I'm so excited. There are some incredible things going on in the company right now, and I thought of you because I know you have a small apartment right now and would like some new cookware, and we have some amazing cookware that has removable handles, and so it's very great for small spaces. I would love to set a party up for you. I have March 10th and April 15th available. Which of those works best for you?
The 10th.
See? Awesome. Done.
Awesome.
I told her what the goal was and why I thought of her, and that's what jogged her memory of like, oh, okay, yeah, I could use some new cookware that, can fit into my kitchen. And then, you can go on to say, hey, I'm so excited about the Fast and Fresh party that I'm doing this month. And our host rewards and bonuses are fabulous, 60% off of that set of cookware or anything else you want in the entire catalog. Do you have a minute? And we can chat. If they say no, because you are going to get some no's, say, hey, no problem. I can call you back in an hour, or would tomorrow be better? And then they're going to tell you which one. If yes, then say, hey, I'm doing Fast and Fresh, which has been a big hit, and my hosts have been getting up to $200 in free products. And then you just give them those dates like I did Shelly. Do you guys have any questions on that? Okay, so just to recap, hand out 10 mini catalogs this week. Carry them in your purse, on your stroller. Shh. Wherever, but hand out 10 mini catalogs. Start tracking your contacts if you haven't started already. Make sure you're tracking those digitally, paper, whatever system works for you, as long as you're tracking them. And then you're still making your 15 contacts a week outside of your party. And then we're going to give you an audio assignment to listen to, and we will post it on the group. It's called Make It a Network with Heidi Toms and Courtney Cheney. It's in the documents, Shelly, in case you're looking for that. Okay. It's just a link on how to make a network of people, how to find people in your network. And one of my favorite quotes that I want to share with you tonight is we talked about some books last week and some of our favorite authors, and I had said one of mine was Rory Vaden. Love him, and he spoke at our conference, but I don't have it on my screen share on my thing, but it is success is never owned, it's always rent. Success is never owned, it's rented, and the rent is due every day. So it doesn't even matter that I'm an advanced director, because I don't just stay as an advanced director if I don't work and pay my rent every month to do this. So I am working just like you guys. So success is never owned, it's only rented, and the rent is due every day.
I love that quote.
That's one of my favorites.
It's from Take the Stairs, Rory
Yes.
Vaden. Mm-hmm.
If you haven't listened to that or read that book, definitely do it. Check out Audible, and you can download it and listen to it while you're driving or folding laundry or watching your kids at the park, whatever you're doing.
What's the name of the book?
Take the Stairs by Rory Vaden.
Say the quote again.
The quote is, success is never earned. Success is never owned. It's rented, and the rent is due every day, every single day.
I love that.
Me too. Anybody have any questions this week of what you need to do this week, homework, or any questions on
also also included in the homework and the expectations for this program is that each week you touch base with your director, and it's show-based coaching. So for every show you're doing, immediately afterward you call your director to do a coaching call. So you need to let them know that you're on your way to a show and that you'll need to speak with them afterwards. And if you don't have shows, you set up a time to talk so that your director can help you with some very specific tasks that will help get your calendar full. Okay, we're working on the 90 Day to Success formula, and you're tracking your contacts, but you're also tracking all of your parties. And that's what Kate was referring to initially. I'll tag that and pull that back to the top of the page on the I Am a Director Facebook page that we've been using so that everybody can see it. So Shaughnessy, are you able to post, kind of sketch out all this homework requirements and put them on?
Yes, ma'am. Okay. Yes, ma'am. I will do that here in a few minutes.
Great.
Okay, guys. Thanks for joining us and taking time out of your schedules. I hope that you guys got some valuable information tonight. Oh, I almost forgot. So one other thing I wanted to chat about real quick before I let you go with prospecting business. I talked about the mini catalogs and logo wear, but vendor events is another great way to find business. And I did, when I started my business, one of the first, I think I'd been in business maybe 2 months. I'd broken my foot, and I set up at a church yard sale, like I was selling stuff. And then on another table right next to it, I just had my kit. And I had the drawing slips there, and I think I was raffling off like a free rub. And so I had everybody put in their raffle slip. And the next day, I am not kidding, I was shaking like this as I called 32 people because I had 32 slips. I ended up having one recruit interview. We met for coffee. She ended up not joining, but I had a recruit lead from it. And then I also ended up having, I booked one party. That lady is now a good friend of mine. We've been friends 7 years later. Mm-hmm. I tracked the business from her first show. It ended up being $8,000 worth of business. Wow. And I'm still selling, and she's still hosting, and her some of the people I've met from her party. I quit tracking after like a year. So vendor events are really good. I know Megan does a ton of vendor events. I'm going to call her the queen of vendor events because she's done way more than I ever have. That's how I usually get into a new area. I just look up online what's going on, whether it's a craft show, if it's a school event. I know my kids, when we moved to Jersey, they had a holiday shopping bazaar set up by the PTO. So I had a table, paid $10, and I booked my first cooking shows and my first host. And that's how I got my business started in Jersey, because this is kind of before Facebook shows.
So if I might add,
yeah.
I am in Las Vegas, but as far as where everyone lives, if you look on Facebook, look up vendor groups. It's any kind of vendor group for your area. Every weekend I do a vendor event.
Really?
Yes, if not both Saturday and Sunday, every weekend I do a vendor event. From casinos to the park. If I can get in, I'm in. And so if you just look online, I have a stack here. This is just from my last weekend. This is over 100 contacts I had to recontact just from one weekend, because all you do is you just talk to them, tell them, have you seen what's new? And a lot of people will just come and look. I mean, I have new product from what I've received as far as the free-for-all. I don't do a lot of vendor events. You'll see, prizes or sign up for this. I don't do that. All I do is every month I send out an email. Would you like to join my email list? And I have them fill it out. And that's how I get contacts. I don't do gifts or free product or a game of some sort. And there's usually, I just did it at the park on Sunday, and a lady already wants to join my team. I'm trying to get the hook, line, sinker, but all I did was ask her if she's seen what's new, because her mom sold 20 years ago.
Wow.
So all you got to do is find those groups on Facebook and find those vendor events, or if you have kids in school, talk to the PTO about setting up a vendor event. I found an apartment complex and I was like, hey, would you want to do a pop-up? So I talked to some of my friends who do other direct sales, and we did a pop-up at an apartment complex. So it's all about getting your name out there.
Yeah. Megan, I need to introduce you to Barbara because she has an event coming up she's scheduled for on April 21st. And so if we can connect the two of you, Barbara's got questions about how to set up and what to take and everything. So maybe the two of you can chat more about it, and you can give her
I don't mind at all.
That's super. That's super. There's and Barbara's actually doing this event because I have a gal who lives near Barbara, who contacts me twice a year and says we're basically a pop-up. Define a pop-up. What do you mean by that?
Okay, so a pop-up is just where a bunch of girls get together or a bunch of vendors get together and just throw our tents up, put our tables out, and it's basically in a high traffic area. Or like if you're at an apartment complex, we have the apartment on our side, and we just throw our stuff out there and have people come look. It's just like a random pop-up. Where if I do one at the casino, it's more advertised. It's put on by a group or an event company, and they put it together where the signs are out and all that. So a pop-up is just kind of like, hey, let's get together. We don't have anything on Saturday. Let's get our table out there to get our name out.
Judy Joel was doing a training with us the other day, and back in the day, if she didn't have her number of contacts and she didn't have her number of parties, she'd put her kit in the back of her car, and she'd pull into the grocery store parking lot and open up the hatch, and she would walk and kind of just chat with people going in and out of the store, and like, oh, I've got Pampered Chef over here. That's what she did if she didn't have her enough parties. If she didn't have her quota, they have quotas. We need to set our own personal quotas and make hold ourselves accountable for a certain level of business. And it's not just going to fall in your lap. If you don't have them, you go and do something like that.
So the other thing that me and my friends had started doing, I have a lady who sells little kids' dresses, and I have a LuLaRoe friend, and we take our kids to the park, and us ladies, we sit at the table and we put our brochures out.
Mm-hmm.
And we just sit there and have people come talk to us. Like, they can't really kick us out the park because we're not really working. We're just sitting there chatting. We might have catalogs out, but so that's a good way too, is if you're taking your kids to the park and you're sitting at a table, just bring your catalogs. Or if we go get coffee, we put our catalogs on the table in front of us just so that people can see what we have to offer, and not ever willing. And I'm never willing to not say something to somebody like, hey, have you seen what's new? Or, hey, do you know what Pampered Chef is? So just, it's all about trying to talk to somebody and trying to, get your name out there.
Awesome.
And making sure, just to piggyback off that, bringing it up in casual conversation if you're talking to somebody. I know I was at the school. My daughter had hit her head on a basketball pole, so the nurse called me and I went in. We were talking, and she's like, oh, so what were you doing today? Because we had to wait for her siblings. And I said, oh my gosh, I'm knee deep in taxes, trying to get everything ready because I have my own business. And she's like, oh, you have your own business. What do you do? And I said, oh, I'm an advanced director at Pampered Chef. She's like, oh my gosh, I love Pampered Chef. Do you have a book? And that was one of those times I did not have a book. But she was a school nurse, and I'm in there every day. So I said, hey, I'll bring you one tomorrow. So when I brought her a catalog, I actually brought her a full-size catalog because I had a plan, and I printed off a outside order form and put that in the catalog. And I said, hey, here's the catalog I told you I would bring. If you pass this around to the front office and just the different people in the school, if you collect $200 in orders, you can get your stuff for free and half price. So she's like, okay, and didn't say yes. And the next day I saw her, she's like, I'm walking around getting orders. So that was a catalog party just in conversation. So
daughter hitting her head. So you need to have one of the children have an injury every other day, right?
Oh my gosh, I've been in there many times. So, but it just happened to come up that time. So you just open your mouth. I mean, don't be afraid to say anything. Be bold. That's on my thing. Be
right.
bold.
I just did that today, actually. A lady was selling the pineapple wedger on the yard sale page for $5. So I'm like, well, I don't have one of those. I was like, I'll take it. I sell Pampered Chef, but hey, do you want a catalog when I go pick it up? She's like, yes, of course I want a catalog. I haven't shopped in forever. So like just that little thing, I was like, tried to throw in that I sold it, or, you know, that I was like, oh, maybe she'd want a catalog, and I just threw that in there.
That's awesome. That's awesome. My fiance's idea was we're on Nextdoor, and there's Facebook treasure pages, and pick a couple Pampered Chef items that are retired or something, and post them on there, which I don't know if that's against company policy or not. I'm actually not sure, but because then people will connect with you to get them, post them on there for like some really low price, and it gives you an opportunity to connect with them. Yeah, I'm with Pampered Chef. I've got all this extra product sitting here. I just needed to kind of move some of it out, and it will get you an opportunity to talk with somebody who's a Pampered Chef fan who contacts you like, oh my gosh, I want that. And just, you know, an investment in a couple products, put them out there, and it'll connect you with more new people. Yeah. So, Shaughnessy, we kind of all went everywhere here just for the last couple of minutes. I found it wonderful. But before you kind of close it up, I know that for me, we invested an hour of our time. Shaughnessy invested even more getting ready to share with us tonight. And you guys give it up for Shaughnessy. Didn't she do a great job?
Thank you, Shanessy.
Yeah. So I will always like to just have everybody kind of share at least their one gem. I know you got more than one, but your one, oh my gosh, gem that you learned in this last hour. And it helps us know that we connected and we served you well. And it helps reinforce for everybody else. So there's like ulterior motive here, but I don't let anybody leave Shaughnessy unless they share. So
no, I know. I love that.
Okay, good. All righty. Who wants to go first?
I will. What I was talking about, having all those facts and figures of how many people I'm in front of. And then Shanessy added that that's what the tracking will do for you. You have that in front of you, then you really see where you're going, how fast you're getting there, if you need to do more, if you're on track or whatever. So that's, joining those two ideas together made sense to me.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks, Kate. Terrific. Who's next?
I'll go. Can you hear me? Yeah. So one of the things that Shanessy was talking about, which really wasn't a tip per se, but she talked about going to the 2 different post offices. And I have recently moved, well, about a year ago, from California to South Carolina. So I don't know anyone around here. And that's always a trick because my world is very small when I go out. So I have become so adept at printing off my labels and going in the post office and dropping it on the counter, and I don't even have to wait in line. So maybe I should just quit doing that and wait in line.
Mm-hmm.
So
absolutely. I've gotten to know many postmen over the years, and they see you come in all the time, and then you just start making that conversation.
For Susan, just a tip too is if you look in, because I just moved to Vegas from Jersey, is a lot of places have little boards, like cork boards or magnet boards where you can put your business card. So
okay.
I would go and not like the real post office, but like those post office companies. I go in and leave my business card or old catalogs on the counter. They have like a little business area.
Mm-hmm.
Just for food for thought on that.
Okay. See, and if I were in Vegas, I know 200 people in Vegas. So
that's awesome.
Find them on Facebook.
Yeah.
Who else? Megan, you shared a lot and we really appreciate it, but did you get any gems tonight?
I need to focus on having people sign I carry catalogs, and I've really been slacking on carrying the slips with me. And I've actually have someone who has a Cricut, a neighbor does, and they made me a shirt. So I have a front and back shirt that I wear a lot too. I just forget those slips. So I need to make sure that I have those slips with me when I go out and about.
Staple them to those mini catalogs.
Mm-hmm. Good point. Good point. How about Barbara? Any good ahas or gems from tonight?
Well, the 15 contacts in a week, that's something I need to do, plus the tracking. But I like that success is never owned, it's rented. And the rent is due every day. I really like that. I'm gonna find that book.
We'll post the book on our page for this event. So in fact, we talked about that from the last week, that if you have any really inspirational books that really talk to you, add them there, because you should be constantly feeding yourself and constantly reading a good book that's going to help you. My fiance he sent me a message earlier today that he bought Stephen Covey's 7 Habits for Successful People on audio. And I'm like, I own it. It's sitting right by my bedside. But so now we have an audio version and we have a hard copy version, so we can read them together.
I'm currently reading The Power of Focus on my phone. So by Jack Canfield. So that's my book this month.
Great. Focus. Okay, who didn't get a chance to share? Thank you, Barbara. Carol, did you pick up any gems today? You're muted. I think we lost her. Okay, did everybody, who didn't share with us? Okay, Shelley. I mean, I'll share. I love Megan's comments about doing a vendor event every single weekend. That's brilliant. You would have booming business if you did that for just a month. Mm-hmm. If you did one a month. But if you wanted to just take your business from 0 to 100% full speed, do a vendor event every single weekend.
The funny thing about it is that I moved here and I started doing the vendor events, and now it's becoming a competition to get Pampered Chef in, because other reps around the area are noticing that I'm doing them all. So then now they're like, oh, that must be how you do it. So then they're all trying to get into them. So now it's becoming a race who can, because for the casinos and stuff, it's all time stamped. So whoever signs up first gets in.
Okay.
So it's becoming a race to see who gets in first.
You know what that makes you?
A trendsetter.
And a leader.
Mm-hmm.
A trendsetter and a leader. People are following you, Megan.
It just reminds. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's huge. That's huge. You are going to start signing people right and left. It's right there. Yeah. What, Shanessy?
It just reminded me when you said that. Executive Director Claudia Bazar. She 2 years ago, I believe it was in 2016. They were military and they were stationed in Korea and they were moving to upstate New York. So as soon as she found out she was moving to New York, she got on Facebook and looked for events in that area, started booking all the vendor events before she even got to New York. And she would do a drawing for a free cooking show. Free cooking shows, basically you bring the ingredients. And she called every single person on every slip and said, hey, congratulations, you're the winner. She went from, I think her check was like $400 a month she was making. By November, she had given herself a raise and she was making $4,500 a month and had promoted. Mm-hmm.
She was our speaker at Lead Plus seminar earlier in March, and she's just the most. Yeah, YouTube her and see if you can find any YouTubes of Claudia Bazar telling her story or doing her party. It's just remarkable. She's so stunned at the growth, the astronomical growth that she's had, and it's very inspirational.
10 months, she gave herself like a 400% raise.
Love it.
So you guys can do it too.
Fabulous. Great. Anything else, Shanessy?
Nope. I'm sorry. I am not trying to drain on you. We were in Six Flags all day in the sun, so.
That's great. Well, this has been super. This is first call of our Director Bound program. I'm delighted and proud of each and every one of you for making it. I know that we have a large list of folks who couldn't be here with us tonight, and they're going to be watching the recording. So wave to them and say hello and tell them good job. Participate on our team, on our Facebook page for the I Am a Pampered Chef Director. So share your best ahas, tell about what you've done. If you're getting stuck, talk about, use that resource. And our call number 2 is next Sunday night. It is April 8th. And from then on, they're on Sunday nights. We did tonight as a Tuesday because of Easter, obviously, and we're going to rock this. So there's a call every week through May 6th and our celebration on May 9th. And I'm just thrilled and delighted you guys are here and looking forward to getting more. This is great. We're doing this homework alongside with you guys. So it's not just you, it's all of us. Any last, anything, Shanessy?
I think that's it. But please, like Shelly said, just comment and post on the group page. Share your successes. I mean, even if your success is, it doesn't matter how small it is, even if it's, hey, I tracked my contacts today. I got 5 contacts today and I tracked them, or I consistently track them. Whatever it is, I got a response back of somebody I've been trying to message for 3 months. Just share your little victories with us. We would love to hear them.
Marvelous. Thank you very much, everybody. Shanessy, you did a marvelous job. I really appreciate you leading us tonight. I am going to turn off the recording and we'll be looking forward to meeting you back here on Sunday night the 8th. Good night, everybody.
Good night.